Yo, what's going on, guys? Mike here, and today I'm answering a question pertaining to kind of what happens at the title company and the order of steps, order of operations, if you will. This is a comment from someone on my YouTube channel, and before I answer this, I just want to give a shout out to Crystal. I'm looking at all the comments here. I've seen you ask like 4 questions in the last like 24 hours, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for engaging. Obviously, I really love to talk about this stuff and help out where I can. And I want to encourage all of you guys, I'm here as a resource. And when I see things like that, I try to get back to everyone's DMs, questions, comments. I don't do it 100% of the time, but I try. But as they say, it's kind of like the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So I would encourage you guys, whether it's me or anyone else, just keep asking questions. And this shows me that it's someone who's very enthusiastic about starting this business. And I really want to support you there. So thank you for engaging with me, for asking your questions, and let's get to it. So, Crystal's saying, hey, Mike, let's settle this issue once and for all. The first thing I do after I have a signed contract with the seller is get the title work started before I even begin marketing the deal to my buyers. So the short answer here is going to be no. Yes, you can do that, and at times it can expedite the process. However, the way I teach this, particularly to my students where that demographic tends to be newer students who are also very budget conscious, is that you want to find the buyer first. Now, the reason being is that I teach how to do deals with no money down and risk free. Now, if you have a title company start the title work, whether you sell the property or not, you're still going to be liable and have to pay them, especially if you're doing like a lot of bulk offers and things like that. So it's not a necessity. Yes, you can do it, but it's going to be an extra expense out of your pocket. And you are going to come across situations where you'll have something under contract. Maybe your numbers are off. Maybe the deal doesn't work out. You can't sell it for whatever reason. You'll be within your inspection period, so you're well within your right to cancel. And if you just cancel, then it's kind of a wash and you don't have any, you haven't spent any money out of pocket. If you do it this way, you're making the title company do some work that, yeah, they'll get paid for like doing the search and stuff like that. But ultimately, you're not going to close. It's going to be a waste of money. So hopefully that makes sense. The next part of this is I want to make sure there's a clear title and my buyer isn't surprised by any liens. So what this goes back to is making sure that you are putting your contracts together properly. As I often say, I had a mentor one time that told me, anytime you have a problem, whether it's in real estate or really in life, it's rarely at that point that the problem occurred. Rather, it occurred 4 or 5 steps back. So what you want to do in this situation is make sure you're putting your contracts together properly and dealing with those potential issues proactively. So when you're in contract with a seller, what you want to do is you want to say, put in your contract verbiage that says property to be delivered free and clear of all liens, violations, fees, and permit issues. So what happens then is you put that into your contract and then you sign with the seller, they're locked in. So now they can't get out of the deal. When you sign your contract with the buyer, there's going to be verbiage in there that binds them to you as well. And then they're locked in, right? So now when the liens come back, because you have that verbiage in your A to B contract with the seller, what that does is it gives you an opportunity to negotiate further, but both parties are still locked into the deal. So let's say some liens come up or an open permit comes up. You can go back to the seller and say, listen, you signed, we have an agreement. And what that means is that either you're going to close these permits out or pay these fees. And oftentimes, especially if it's small, it will just come out of the seller's profit or their proceeds, what they're making on the deal. The title company will handle that. So it's not a situation where they have to even pay out of pocket. Let's say they're netting, $50,000 on the deal. There's a $1,000 water bill. The title company will take care of it. They'll just pay the seller $4,000 and you're good to go. So it doesn't jeopardize your deal. Now, if it's open permits and they don't want to close it or something like that, you can then say to them, listen, I'll take care of this. I'll close the permit out. I'll pay the fee, but I'm going to need a price reduction. And so you can negotiate further without losing the deal. And then you can choose to deal with it however you want. I've had situations where I've had to pay out of my pocket, out of profit, to, let's say, close a permit or, pay a fee just to get the deal done. A lot of these things with liens, permits, fees, you can negotiate the price down. And then you can either close it and then close with your end buyer, Or you can go to your buyer and say, listen, there's some open permits that came up. I can, you can still close on the property, but you're going to have to sign a hold harmless agreement saying that, this lien is there, or this open permit's there, but you're going to close anyway. And typically they'll do that if you give, if either it's a smoking deal and they just want it, or you tell them, I'll give you, a credit or $1,000 off or whatever it is. In that case, you can even oftentimes make your deal more profitable, because you can go to the seller and say, listen, I'll take care of this stuff, but I need, let's say, a $5,000 price reduction. And then you can go to the buyer and say, listen, you got to take it with this permit issue, but I can give you a price reduction of $2,500. And that way you're increasing your profit by $2,500. But the idea is both parties are still locked into the deal. And then at that point, you can still negotiate and figure it out and work on it. Sometimes, like I said, even being a little bit more profitable. But at the end of the day, nobody can kind of renege on the deal and get out of it. Next question is, when I collect non-refundable deposits, should I have them made out to me? My peers are telling me it has to go to escrow. So a cash buyer can always give you, they can give you money and give you your assignment fee up front, but it's very uncommon. Typically, they're going to send it to, any smart buyer is going to send it to the escrow, to your title company. That's common, and that's completely fine. Now, another thing going back to contracting is, with a lot of these companies, title companies, even though you have your contract signed with, let's say, your end buyer, whether it's a B2C or an assignment, but let's say for some reason they want to get out of the deal, a lot of title companies will require them to sign an authorization to release the deposit, even on a contract with zero inspection, because the title company is just kind of like looking out for themselves. But this goes back to contracting properly. So what you want to do is put in your contract, whether it be, assignment contract or B2C contract, whatever, the terms that say, when the buyer signs, it say, the buyer knows, this contract serves as authorization to release the deposit to me should the buyer not sign for any reason other than I'm unable to provide free and clear title. And so in that case, if a buyer's like, hey, I changed my mind, I don't want it anymore, anything like that, even though that deposit's up at the title company, you will get it automatically unless there is an issue with that title. If you can't get them free and clear title, which is typically, a guarantee that you're making to give them the property. So it's not like you're screwed, or they can, they'll just get their money back or something like that. So don't expect buyers to give you money up front. It's kind of just not going to happen. But if you put your contracts together properly, it's not something that you'll have to deal with again, unless it's like some rare case where there's some basically where you can't get free and clear title. Okay. And I think that was the end of it. Now you're just talking about, I offer a 0-day inspection. That's correct. That's the way you want to do it. I also file a memorandum of agreement, so there's a very small chance the deal falls apart. Oftentimes, that's something where it's just going to be extra work on your part. And if you're doing, a lot of deals or running volume, it's just going to be a real pain in the ass. It's also going to be an extra expense to you that's often unnecessary. The only time that you really need to do that is if you're in a situation where, let's say, somebody wants to renege on the deal. Typically, let's say a seller, let's say you offer $100,000 for a contract, for your purchase contract's $100,000. And then, another buyer comes along, offers them $120,000, and they don't want to honor your deal. And that's the time where you would want to go ahead and file that notice, essentially like clouding the title so they can't close on it anyway, and they have to go through with you. So those are your questions. Again, thank you so much for engaging with me and asking those questions. Some of the things I said in this video, I have some other videos that go into more details. My assignment contract video, for example, I give you guys a copy of my assignment contract to download, as well as a video explanation of all the terms in there. So some of the things I alluded to in this video, but I kind of break it down a little bit more. So in the comment section here on YouTube, I'll go ahead and put those links. If you have follow-up questions, please do ask me. Some of the other questions you asked me were a little bit shorter, so I will I'll just answer those in the comment section. For everyone else watching, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for your support of the channel. Please do continue to ask me questions, because again, I love making these videos. And also for more engagement, stuff like that, make sure you join my free Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search Wholesaling with Mike. It's another great place to ask questions, and oftentimes I'll just do like this and make a live video, answer those for you. It's a little bit faster. And of course, you can always DM me on Instagram. Find me at Mike Hill TWT. So thanks again. Looking forward to more questions. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Helps the channel out a great deal. Throw me some more ideas for videos. Happy to answer those for you. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right? Take care, guys. Peace.